the general theme is how does it feel to be a hypocrite?
Right. Well, he sounds like a royal dirtbag.
I was wrong about something.
Magnificent! Magnificent! Magnificent!
If we can be with ourselves, if we can understand ourselves, we can love.
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
Let's go while we're young.
3, 2, 1. Just introduce yourself and tell me what you ate for breakfast.
Hey, good morning. Matt here. Again, it's too early for me for breakfast. Good morning. Thanks for joining me this morning once again. I am just again so incredibly grateful and blessed by the messages that you've sent, by the very, very consistent views that the show has had. I've been very surprised by that, and I'm very thankful for that. And let's just keep going. I mean, morning hair is about, I know some mornings my hair looks a little bit more put together than others, but I've not done a show without just rolling out of my pillow and getting here and doing it. So I guess if you're new here, a couple of things really quick. It's just about being raw and real and as relevant as possible. It's not about being right. In fact, I have a saying, that I've told many people over the years, and if you've listened to my podcast for nearly over 5.5 years, I've done different podcasts, but I say that just because I'm wrong doesn't make you right. In other words, just because your viewpoint makes me wrong, just because that you think I'm wrong doesn't automatically make you right. So I just try to dig into things. In fact, we see so many things on social media right now with people fighting, you're an idiot, and if you think this way or you voted this way, you're an idiot. And it doesn't matter what party that is. Everybody's saying it. But I literally ask myself when I'm researching things or when I'm trying to form a pretty solid opinion is like, am I the idiot here? Like, what do I need to know and learn so that I can, fight for this or whatever? But that's where I'm at with it. That's what the show is about. It's about just being here together, having a good way to start the day, digging into some different topics and things that some people think are relevant. Others on certain days definitely won't. But if you see on the screen, be you. That's the hashtag today. Put in hashtag be you in the comments. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube or on Twitter or if you're watching on Facebook. If it's live, put hashtag be you in the comments during the live show, and that will enter you into the drawing to win. And let's get this larger on screen. It matches my shirt. Yeah, it doesn't show up on the, sorry, this tumbler. It's a great tumbler. Very nice blue, but with this lighting, it doesn't show up very well. But it matches my shirt. I make these things like right here in my home, and these shirts should be on the website probably today, even shinybrandcom. At any rate, we're talking about meddling, and I'm asking the question, are you a meddler? Today, like, this is the wrap up for that topic of meddling, meddler, those types of things. And so I got sent this thing about Trump, and they said Trump is a meddler. And let me back up. Quote, Trump is a meddler. He's dictating who gets to publish information to the American citizens. End quote. And what this person, to give you some context, is, and maybe Trump is a meddler. I'm not here to say he is or he isn't, but this is the statement that was sent to me, and here's the context of that. So the White House Correspondents Association is a group in Washington, D.C. that has for decades dictated who gets to ask the president questions. It's a legacy media thing. literally been around for a long time. Just a quick search can give you some of this information. I didn't do a deep dive, but I am pretty confident in what I saw about the White House Correspondents Association. They decide who gets to sit in that room and ask questions. And so what's happening is Trump is doing what Trump does, and he's shaking things up, like it or not like it. That's not what I'm here to talk about. What I am saying is that I think it's extremely important to not look at this from a bias standpoint. And here's where a bias, in my opinion, is that when you say that this unelected legacy media agency is dictating who gets to ask the president questions, I think that would probably be a determining factor in that's meddling, right? Like, you can't say that if you only are giving this small group access to the president and asking them questions. The president hasn't done that, and Trump is changing that. Like it or don't like it, that's not what I'm here to argue about. But what I am saying is that is happening, and that this group is actually the group who has dictated who has been able to do that. Now, in my opinion, nowadays there's a lot more different outlets that, especially, of course, with social media and the different media venues that are available, blogs and all kinds of, well, I won't go into it. You understand what I'm saying. There's all kinds of different methods now to deliver information. And I think that there's some very solid, maybe somewhat biased outlets, and they all are, by the way, in some fashion. They're all biased in some way, but that they're very deserving to be able to ask the president questions. And so the reason I bring that up in this meddling is, are you a meddler? I think it's really easy to project onto somebody that they're doing something without digging into information. So before we go on, I have a note here on what, so a specific definition of a meddler. And so that is from the dictionary: a person who tries to change or have influence on things that are not their responsibility. Now, I say that slow because I want you to get this. A person who tries to change or have an influence on things that are not their responsibility. Here's my opinion now on Trump. I think it's great that Trump is absolutely opening it up to other media outlets to have that ability, to have that chance, to have that opportunity to ask the president questions. Legacy media is dying completely. They are very biased, whether you say they're biased to the right or biased to the left or whatever. They are biased, period. End of story. You're never, ever going to convince me that they are not biased in very significant ways in their own fashion. And so Trump's opening, in my opinion, Trump is opening this up so that the Washington or the White House Correspondents Association cannot meddle in what we are able as American citizens to ask the president questions. So that's my opinion on that. But then I want to ask you, are you a meddler? Is that something that you fit into this category? Now, it's a really difficult one. BU, I forgot to mention BU hashtag. So that's today. You can put that in a sentence, right? It doesn't have to be its own comment and stuff. As long as that's a separate word, the system will automatically pick that up and know that you are entered into this drawing. So if you're watching right now live, hashtag BU, you can duck out of here as well, and you're still in the running for the prize. Today's prize giveaway is this tumbler. It says, "Let's get toasted." It's camping season. Marshmallows, fire. Let's get toasted. Take it however else you want to. But at any rate, so I want you to ask yourself these questions. I think it's very important that we always ask ourselves questions. And when it comes to, are we a meddler? Are you gossiping about somebody? They're not there. Or are you addressing them directly on an issue? That's a good one. Gossiping is rampant. It's crazy. I really, really like to keep to myself these days. Quite honestly, it's really amazing. And then another question: do you spend time in your mind thinking about how someone is annoying to you, like how their actions or what they say or their social media posts or whatever? Are you dwelling and thinking about someone and how annoying they are? Or are you concerned for them? That's a big one. Like, we should be concerned for people, in my opinion. We don't have to agree with people to be concerned for them. So ask yourself that question. Are you spending more time being concerned about someone, or are you spending more time being annoyed with them? Parenting is a big one. Relationship or marriage is another one that people like to meddle in, right? And I'm guilty of it too. I have grandkids. Of course, I want to say my piece and different things. I hope I do a good job of staying out of that. I really do. I really think, they're doing a great job raising their kids. Or so you ask yourself, are you criticizing them in these areas? Or is it something that you're just asking questions and just trying to understand and know what's going on? So are you criticizing, or are you trying to understand? Another question. This is the top one, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Are you defensive? Is your automatic response and reply a defense? Are you, when someone is correcting you, or when someone's telling you that you might be overstepping or over criticizing them or another person, is your first response defense? Or is it something where you're open to, oh, maybe I am? But if you're defensive immediately, if your reaction to anything or any question is defensive, you might be in a place where you're meddling too much on it. And I think that that's a very important question to ask yourself in the space of, are you a meddler? So are we ready to do the drawing? So here we go. Let's see if we can get this thing to split the screens again. And we have a few entries. Thank you so much for that. And let's spin the dial here on you 5. Thanks so much again. And I kept myself out of it today. So, all right. Minnesota girl, I'll have to figure out who you are. Looks like on YouTube. So you're the winner today. Congratulations. The tumbler. It's a great tumbler, hot or cold. So let's get toasted. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining me.
You know what I just saw?
Who is this guy?
I call myself Podcast because of my podcast.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
So it's done.
It's done.